My name is Dr. Jamie, and we're now in the third video, learning about composting with worms. In the last few episodes, 1, you've learned that I like to eat. 2, you found out that I don't like having to put my food scraps into my garbage, because I knew that went to the landfill. So I learned how I could use a compost bin, a very small one that I have in my kitchen that has my little bitty friends, the worms. They're able to take my food scraps, turn it into that super dirt castings that is able to be put out into nature, into my little garden to grow more food for me. We also learned last time that I needed to make sure my worms had a very good habitat where they had everything they need to survive. Now, would you like to meet my little friends? Let's check it out. Well, it's always nice to know an animal's name before you meet it. So the main character in my bin are the red wigglers. Now, red wigglers are a little bit smaller than some of the worms you might see outside. They're very red, and these animals are amazing at eating food scraps. They eat all day, so they can actually eat half their body weight in one day. That's a lot of food. Now, another type of worm that you might see in a worm bin is a little bit smaller, and these are the white worms. Now, these are about the size of a piece of hair, so you may have to look very close for those. Now, besides worms, sometimes we have some bugs that can help eat our compost, and one of them is called a springtail. These are very small little white bugs, and they love fruit. So actually, if you look here, this is a video of a springtail that we took with a microscope. You can see it's walking on a banana peel. They're pretty cute animals. Now, another animal that we might see in our compost bin, you may be more familiar with. So this is a sow bug, or some people call it a roly-poly. These bugs will also eat my food scraps. Now, before we start our worm exploration, I want to go over some science expectations. Now, as a scientist, we are going to observe. Now, I know in this video, you're going to be watching a video about my worms, but if you're outside and you happen to see some worms, we need to use our observation skills. So this can mean you can use your eyes. If you happen to have a magnifier, you can use this to be able to make it look bigger. Or you can even use a phone. You can use the camera on a phone to be able to zoom in to look at these little animals. Now, we also, when we work with animals or worms, we want to make sure that we have calm bodies and calm voices. Now, worms do not have ears, but they can feel vibrations. And so when you talk or yell, if you put your hand to your throat and make some noise, la 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 la, you can feel those vibrations. And if you yell very loud around these animals or worms, they might feel a little bit scared. Now, the third thing we're going to focus on is that we are going to look for clues. Now, I'm going to give you a worm question, and I want you to come up with a hypothesis. Now, a hypothesis is something that you probably do all the time. You observe things, you hear things, you experience things, and you wait a minute, I think this is going to happen. I predict this is going to happen or change. These are all hypotheses. So I'm going to give you a worm question, and I want you to come up with some guesses. Are you ready? How can we tell the head from the tail of a worm? Now, you may know one way, you may know 2 ways, but there's actually 6 different ways that you can tell the head from the tail. So, what I'd like you to do when you do your observations is maybe work with an adult or work by yourself and write down your observations. You can use phrases like, I notice, and then fill in the blank. Or I can see that this is different than this. And I'd also like you to take a moment to think about what are some questions you have about worms? What did you notice as you watched this video? Or have experiences to go look at the worms outside. Are you ready to watch? Let's go. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed looking at my compost critters, those friends that live in my compost bin and help me take care of my food scraps. I hope you have some pretty good observations, things that you noticed. If you come back to the next episode, I'm going to go over how to tell the head from the tail of a worm. I have a feeling that you may have noticed all of the different ways. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.